Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm Susan, your intuitive, and this is your tarot and astrology reading for the month of July 2025. Also, Cancer season and your opposing sign. So let's chat. I was curious when I was like, what signs going next, which signs of importance, and you just had Mars across from your sign for quite some time and a relief from Pluto. So I can only imagine by this point, and I'm going to be even more curious next month, at this point, how freedom feels internally. Of course, that doesn't take away from any of the shadows that you are currently working through, needing to integrate. But what's being and perhaps revealed to you is the freedom that comes along with emotional stability. These two cards also, particularly metaphysically, are about moving forward, representing Pisces, also Cancer because it is the moon, and Cancer is the only one ruled by the moon. So touching base with yourself every day, I thought this might be interesting to talk about. I don't know about you, and I think this could be a cardinal sign thing, honestly. But I think especially with the ruling of a lot of Capricorn or culture, society, the way you've been conditioned, programmed, whatever it is, you know that like conversation around happiness or having a consistent emotion, and how even to this day we have this, there's a lot of conversation around emotion, mental health, everything about the human, which is amazing. And yet somehow, some way, even those of us who have, even if you've broken free from a lot of your conditioning, programming, what still may come up sometimes is this, I feel emotional. I feel, it's like, yes, emotions are consistent and constant. And it's how you choose to navigate what's going on. Is it necessary? Does it need your attention? Of course, it's always like whatever's coming up is probably necessary, but does it need your attention? And how much energy do you have for that And maybe you're tired because you need to pay attention to the part that's weighing you down. And I think you have become so quick to acknowledge what's happening more and more. And it also brought me to addiction and people who want that stability of like they need that hit, or even honestly like being on social media, right? How it is addicting, or the phone, right? This codependency to technology, to these different ways to feel a consistent emotion that somehow feels good to us or allows us that momentum. So because when it's not there is this moment of detoxing. There is this moment of change. So Capricorn risings, Temperance, Sagittarius shows up in your 12th house. What's being revealed to you at this time about perhaps taking a look at where you've been not wanting to, or even, sorry, hold on. My nose is a little itchy. Not wanting to consistently check in with yourself, even though that's important, right? Where does that stem back to? Were you not checked in on enough? Or do you just like your alone time? And when is one of those sides of things more important or revealing itself? And how do you know? Well, if you're checking in or someone's checking in with you and you're feeling annoyed or you feel triggered by a check-in, that'll tell you. If you are neutral, grateful for the check-in, that'll tell you. So this back and forth, and something that you've been perhaps taking a look at for quite some time, a lot of control is being talked about, but also This is about the connection of the feet and the hips and that movement forward, but also like that connection, right? The hips connect the upper body and the lower body connected to the feet and the jaw. And where it is that you're wanting to go and what moving forward looks like and what you've been resistant to. You are someone who's more of an action taker, but you're also well thought out. So you're not someone who doesn't think, like, you're not someone who doesn't sit on things, but you're also someone who's not impulsive. So you have an impulsivity or a spontaneity to you depending on if it's healthy or not, right? And then you also have this ability to be strategic and understand, ruled by Saturn, that things take a certain amount of work, time, energy, all Saturn ruled things. This is a time where, however necessary that is, which is extremely, of course. However, right now, it's a time to expose yourself to enjoyment, to open yourself up to time, to give yourself time, to give yourself the time it requires to love yourself, have compassion for yourself, to embrace that carefree, childlike, enjoying nature that you have. And interestingly enough, I was saying that Mars is across from you. Mars was also just in Leo. So that 8th house of deep healing for Capricorn risings, deep healing, other people's resources, so how you're making your money, perhaps a sign of also what comes to mind is and it's mental health. Duh. Mental health, what comes to mind? Mental health. So you've been exposed to where, however you've picked up speaking and that conversation with yourself, and how it comes out in ways in which your child, that inner child or this part of you, just didn't get the attention it needed. So now the strength comes in, the sun, both Leo cards, about the heart and support. How you support yourself now is supporting your heart. What does that look like? Well, that looks like, whatever shadows you picked up. Because for some of you, this could be about a Pisces or a Sagittarius, or the Sagittarius is the person who emotionally shaped your life. It could be the Pisces as well. But it looks like this is a Sagittarius who shaped your life some way, shape, or form. And now you are in a space where you could be safe enough to be revealed to what you needed to heal this. And it could even be in relationship, especially if you are in a relationship with any of these signs, Pisces, Sag, Leo. But in Cancer season, this season where we see the waves so clearly of our humanity, of our emotions, of humanity, it is the mother season. You also see like the deep healing and how that reveals through your attachment to money, your attachment to if you're in a relationship, or your attachment to entering a relationship if you're single, as well as how you tend to the intimate parts of your relationships. Now, I had notes for you, but we're doing this very intuitively. We'll get into the notes in the second part, which I will tell you are in a link below. Patreon is where we get the second part, where we deep dive into it. They may be 20 minutes or more or less, but always that's like an average. You can also find this reading on there first. So if you sign up to be a member, you'll get the free readings as well. If you just want them right to your email when they're ready. And then a link to, I have to open it up, a link to work with me one-on-one, my schedule link, payment options, website. I just revamped it a little if you want to learn a little bit more about me, but there's more to come on those videos as well. So, Capricorn, in this Cancer season, you're being guided by the security of your emotions and where you're at in your life right now, and trusting that whatever is coming to light and being exposed, whether through a relationship, through this person, or through a job, the acknowledgement of it will only help your ego when you are being acknowledged in a public way. Because with the Leo cards, although can be relationship, Leo is about being on the stage. It's about being expressive. So wherever that matters, and wherever you're finding that you're not getting the appreciation or what you're looking for, it of course, as always, needs to come from yourself first, and how that contributes to your lack of motivation or energy that you felt. Because where is what you're striving for coming from? Now, like I said to, actually I don't know who I said this to. It doesn't necessarily matter either, Capricorn, if you decide to change jobs or careers or learn something new. The way that you can even approach this is by exposing yourself more, being comfortable with yourself, and getting this shift of abundant, that feeling, because you're giving yourself the time to enjoy life, and recognizing that along with emotional stability comes with the practice of letting go of what you can't control. You put as much work as you can in, right? If you're working out, you're putting as much work as you can in, and you'll continue to be shaped. You're shaping your body, but you're not like in your body forming the muscle, right? You're working out to form the muscle, but the muscles are doing that. And I hope that makes sense to you. I feel like that's a good one for Capricorn, because you are Earth. You are Earth. And then also at the bottom of the deck is Judgment. This comes with like such a divine revelation for some of you, that this deeper healing about moving forward and really listening to your heart, as cliche or corny as it can sound sometimes, is actually so important to enjoy your life and the people around it. And that actually is what brings the inspiration and what people look for, right? You can look for it, or you can decide to trust that whatever you're being attracted to that day, and maybe it's a different kind of video, you're not just checking it because you're, a usual subscriber and that's the same person you check every day, or their content that you look at, but you are looking because you're feeling drawn to it. And then you still don't look at it and a friend sends it to you, and it's like something that you would have never, again, it's like that extra push where life is, or not just push, but it's like life being like, this is it. And because you're finding this stability and the security, whether you're doing or not doing, so much from your subconscious, because like the way that I pulled these, or the way the cards came out, these are the bottom of the deck. The way that I took these cards out, she's not facing him or facing it, the being, the angel. And it's through this experience of, call it peace for some of you, a certain type of peace of letting go of what you can't control. What you're being exposed to is that your brain needs time to relax in between work mode, in between go mode. And the way that you're acknowledging it is finding revelation internally, or finding that even if you're, whatever you're searching for, if you don't say yes to the first one, it's making its way to you. And somehow, some way that allows you to move on, move forward from perhaps some stubborn emotions, stubborn way of living, thinking, that has set a certain foundation for who you are now. And it's just no longer working. And you realize through this that it no longer matters. that attachment to that job or getting that specific thing, from a person or a situation, or getting these needs met or reaching this status is not as important as the quest for your happiness, your joy, your peace, if that's the word for you. The exposure to yourself on the layer of the internal, the deep, the rooted, the programming, the conditioning, to the situations that are showing up to reveal that light to you, right? Because we have the moon and the sun out, are just showing you how strong you are, how capable you are, that anything that you're moving towards is achievable, and it wants you to remember why and remember yourself in ways in which you know that you bring that out in other people. You bring out this, we could talk about anything kind of moment when you're so in yourself and you don't know if you're gonna, like, you might laugh a little bit and talk a little bit, and it's just always this well-formed, not just thought, it's just like this full encompassing energy that you're receiving through your words or however you're showing up with others. And that security emotionally, you realize, is like such a profound presence that you have and that you're capable of. And what that helps you see in their situations is that whatever the root or where you've been conditioned or programmed is showing up in your life, and what situations are helping you get to this spiritual, very spiritual revelation. And for some of you, it would be like a declaration. Wasn't even thinking of the 4th of July, but of this moving forward from a place that you don't need to control, that you no longer feel like you need to. It's like such a relief to know that you can move beyond this, and there's still 9 of Cups, there's still a 10 of Cups. That the story is not ended at all, that actually something has just begun, even if you've achieved whatever success means to you. You're letting go of what's not yours to carry. And you realize now that it served you for the time being, and it's no longer yours to carry, Capricorn. So wherever this control kept you protected from, where it stemmed from, the situation or the relationship or being single and dating, is allowing you to be really kind to your inner child. Enjoy this process that you're in. You're not just reaching a goal, you're enjoying the process of life with whomever you choose. That's something you have control over. You choose. Reveals to you, just something that's no longer needed. Especially in terms of health and work, this could really shift your physical environment. This revelation, this change, this exposure and expression. It's the power of love, Capricorn. And not like just romantic love, but like really loving someone and each other for who you are. Really loving what you do for what it is, or the insights, or enjoying the thing that you enjoy for that reason. Yeah, this is quite a season for you. I was rhyming during the Virgo and I was like, oh, Virgos. Okay, all information to work with me is below. We'll get into even more in depth in Patreon, so that will be in the first link below when this comes out. And we'll see you next month, Capricorn, because it looks like the Leo season's got a lot of love for you, a lot in store for you, a lot of light. So if you've been in more solitude, or you've needed more alone time, or you need to keep yourself focused, and that's the discipline right now, and only engage with intuitively how you feel with people or situations on where you're at, you got something there. Okay, we'll see you next time.